Victoria's life appeared perfect to the outside world. 7 months pregnant and married to billionaire Lucas, she navigated a world of luxury with poise and elegance. Their sprawling mansion gleamed with opulence, lined with priceless artwork, crystal chandeliers, and manicured gardens that reflected a life most could only dream of. Designer cars waited in the driveway, while invitations to lavish parties and charity galas arrived constantly, each one showcasing their status and influence. Guests admired Victoria's grace, whispered compliments about her beauty, and openly envied Lucas's charm and apparent devotion. Yet beneath the glittering surface, Victoria carried a heavy secret: her life was far from perfect. Lucas's controlling nature was subtle but constant. He mocked her for minor mistakes, criticized her choices, and dismissed her opinions in ways that left Victoria questioning herself. Even in public, he asserted his dominance, ensuring that others witnessed her compliance, though she hid the fear and pain she felt. Every smile she offered for the cameras was carefully constructed, a mask to protect herself from his wrath. She clung desperately to hope that the arrival of their child would soften his cruelty, that Lucas might discover a sliver of empathy or tenderness. But the tension simmered, persistent and oppressive, lurking beneath the surface of their perfect facade. Each passing day left Victoria feeling more like a prisoner in a gilded cage, a woman surrounded by luxury yet trapped by the very man who was supposed to cherish and protect her. Her fear was tempered only by the quiet resilience growing within her, a strength she had yet to fully acknowledge. Victoria's unease deepened as Lucas's arrogance and entitlement grew more pronounced. At business events and high society gatherings, he openly flirted with younger women, dismissing her presence as if her opinions and achievements held no weight. The public scenes left Victoria feeling small, humiliated, and isolated, forced to endure the mockery silently. Lucas's temper was unpredictable, intensified by alcohol, and Victoria had learned to anticipate his moods, walking on eggshells to avoid triggering his wrath. Despite the constant fear, a quiet strength simmered within her, a growing sense that she did not have to endure this forever. Staff and friends noticed the tension between them but misinterpreted it as normal stress associated with wealth and high social status. They failed to see the psychological toll of Lucas's behavior, leaving Victoria feeling alone even in crowded rooms filled with well-wishers. She smiled and nodded for appearances, concealing the turmoil beneath the polished exterior expected of a woman in her position. What Lucas did not know, however, was that Victoria's inheritance from her late grandfather made her the true owner of the mansion and the surrounding land. This secret gave her a hidden power, a silent assurance that Lucas could not legally oust her. Though she had kept it carefully hidden to avoid conflict, it now represented hope and leverage, a latent strength she could wield when the time was right to protect herself and her unborn child. One evening, Lucas's frustration reaches a dangerous peak. What he perceives as Victoria's subtle defiance, her quiet confidence, her refusal to fully submit to his whims, triggers an outburst. In front of staff and a few onlookers, he threatens to throw her out of the mansion, declaring that she must obey him completely. His voice is sharp, laced with anger and entitlement, echoing off the marble floors of the grand halls. Staff exchange uneasy glances, unsure how to respond without risking confrontation, while Victoria stands poised, her face calm but her heart steady. Inside, Victoria feels a surge of controlled determination. She knows the mansion and surrounding land are legally hers, inherited from her late grandfather, and that Lucas has no power to remove her. The knowledge acts as armor, shielding her from the immediate fear of his threats. Despite his bluster, she senses the cracks in his confidence, the overestimation of his authority. As guests whisper in the distance, sensing tension but not fully understanding it, Victoria quietly begins formulating her plan. Her mind races, imagining the moment she will reveal the truth of her ownership, assert her legal rights, and finally put an end to Lucas's dominance. Every word he utters, every gesture he makes, only strengthens her resolve. The psychological tension escalates with each passing minute, but Victoria remains a picture of composure, her quiet strength beginning to eclipse the chaos around her. She knows that the power to protect herself and her unborn child lies firmly in her hands. Lucas's rage boils over as he attempts to physically remove Victoria from the mansion. His hands grip her arm, his voice belligerent, and chaos erupts. Staff and guests are frozen, unsure whether to intervene or flee, while some cautiously attempt to calm him. The scene becomes a spectacle, with a mix of fear and shock rippling through the crowd. Glass chandeliers glint above, catching the light of the drama, as Victoria's presence commands quiet attention despite Lucas's aggression. Victoria, however, remains composed. Every instinct tells her to stay calm and measured, knowing that her legal claim over the mansion and land makes her untouchable. She observes Lucas's bluster with keen focus, noting the way his arrogance masks insecurity. She allows him to exhaust himself, mentally preparing to reveal the truth at the perfect moment. The mansion, once a place of intimidation, now symbolizes her strength and latent power. Lucas, blinded by his anger, fails to comprehend that public embarrassment is imminent and that his threats hold no legal weight. Whispers spread among the witnesses, some recording the confrontation, others silently cheering Victoria's calm defiance. The tension reaches a breaking point as Victoria's inner strength begins to overshadow his aggression. In that charged atmosphere, the tables turn, Lucas's dominance crumbles as Victoria stands tall, poised, and ready to reclaim her life, her dignity, and her future. As the confrontation escalates, family members, neighbors, and loyal staff quietly observe, their eyes filled with concern and unspoken support for Victoria. Though they do not intervene overtly, their presence gives her a sense of reassurance and confidence, a reminder that she is not entirely alone in facing Lucas's rage. Each subtle glance and whispered encouragement strengthens her resolve, allowing her to remain composed while Lucas lashes out with aggression and entitlement. Lucas, sensing the growing attention and subtle disapproval of those around him, becomes increasingly desperate. His bluster and attempts to dominate falter as he realizes that he cannot rely on anyone's support. He rages against the walls of his own facade, desperate to maintain authority but powerless against the quiet solidarity surrounding Victoria. The contrast between his frantic aggression and her calm, authoritative demeanor is stark. Meanwhile, snippets of the confrontation are captured on smartphones, quietly circulating among onlookers. Lucas, once a respected and admired billionaire, now appears unhinged and irrational. The seeds of his public downfall are quietly being planted in real time. The silent witnesses act as more than just moral support, they serve as a subtle safeguard. Should Lucas escalate to physical violence, these allies are prepared to intervene, ensuring Victoria's safety. Their presence underscores a powerful truth: the strength of a woman is amplified when she is quietly supported by those who see her worth and are willing to stand, even silently, by her side. Victoria realizes the moment has arrived to assert herself. With measured composure, she calmly addresses Lucas, her voice steady and unwavering. She informs him that she is the legal owner of the mansion and all surrounding land, a truth he has long ignored. She does not shout or plead, instead, she conveys confidence, leaving no room for argument. Lucas freezes, caught between a mix of rage, disbelief, and embarrassment. His attempts at intimidation falter as he is confronted with undeniable authority and legal reality. Guests, once silent spectators, now watch in awe as Lucas's arrogance crumbles publicly. The powerful image of a once dominant billionaire reduced to shock and humiliation is unmistakable. Victoria's measured and composed response emphasizes not only her intelligence but also her resilience. She refuses to tolerate further emotional or physical abuse, making it clear that she and her unborn child are protected. Lucas's power over her dissolves instantly, replaced by the weight of social and legal consequences he cannot escape. The whispering guests, some capturing the moment on their phones, witness a dramatic reversal of fortune. Victoria's calm assertion of authority transforms the atmosphere. Her inner strength radiates outward, overshadowing Lucas's bluster and signaling that the days of fear and submission are over. In that instant, Victoria reclaims control over her life, her home, and her future, standing as a woman empowered by knowledge, courage, and unshakable determination. After the confrontation, Victoria immediately contacts her lawyer to ensure her rights are formally recognized and protected. The legal team drafts comprehensive documents asserting her ownership of the mansion and surrounding land, leaving no ambiguity. Protective measures are also put into place, including restraining orders that legally prevent Lucas from approaching her, entering the property, or interfering with her life in any way. These steps are meticulous, leaving Lucas with no room to maneuver or retaliate. The combination of Victoria's legal authority, viral recordings of Lucas's public outburst, and corroborating witness statements from staff and allies ensures that he remains powerless. Attempts by Lucas to manipulate the legal system, challenge her rights, or regain control are thwarted at every turn. Each strategy he employs is met with careful preparation and preemptive measures, reinforcing Victoria's security and autonomy. This moment becomes a turning point in Victoria's life. The fear and uncertainty that once dominated her existence begin to dissipate, replaced by a profound sense of independence. Lucas's aggression, once terrifying, is now impotent against the shield of law, documentation, and public accountability. Victoria experiences a renewed confidence in her ability to protect herself and her unborn child, recognizing that her carefully planned actions have not only safeguarded her present but also paved the way for a future free from control and abuse. Legal reinforcement solidifies her authority, ensuring that she no longer needs to fear Lucas's influence. The viral videos of Lucas's attempted expulsion spread rapidly across social media platforms, news outlets, and corporate networks. Clips of his aggressive behavior, juxtaposed with Victoria's calm composure, ignite a storm of public outrage. Commenters, journalists, and influencers condemn Lucas for his abusive conduct, scrutinizing his character and questioning his leadership in business and social circles. Sponsors and corporate partners immediately distance themselves, fearing association with a man now widely perceived as dangerous and unhinged. Public sympathy pours toward Victoria. Audiences are captivated by her resilience, courage, and poise under extreme pressure. She becomes a symbol of empowerment, demonstrating how knowledge, preparation, and inner strength can counter intimidation and abuse. People admire not only her calm response but also her strategic use of legal and social tools to reclaim control over her life. Support networks, domestic abuse advocates, and even casual observers share her story widely, inspiring others facing similar circumstances to stand firm and assert their rights. Lucas's empire begins to falter as allies and business associates reconsider partnerships, distancing themselves from the man whose arrogance and violence are now publicly documented. The shift in perception transforms a moment of humiliation into a powerful narrative of empowerment. Victoria's story underscores the consequences of abuse and emphasizes the importance of courage and preparedness. Through public outcry, her victory is magnified beyond the private sphere, reinforcing that strength, intelligence, and resilience can overturn even the most seemingly insurmountable power. With Lucas removed from her life, Victoria begins the careful process of rebuilding herself, both emotionally and physically. Therapy sessions provide a safe space to unpack the trauma she endured, allowing her to process fear, anger, and the years of subtle emotional abuse. Support networks for survivors of domestic abuse guide her through strategies for self-care, empowerment, and resilience, reminding her that she is not alone and reinforcing the importance of her safety. Victoria focuses on preparing for the arrival of her child. She decorates the nursery with care and thoughtfulness, filling the room with warmth, comfort, and security that she was never able to experience under Lucas's control. Every detail, from choosing soft colors to arranging toys and furniture, becomes a tangible symbol of her independence and newfound authority over her own space. Daily routines, such as preparing meals, walking through her estate, or organizing her home, take on deeper significance, representing small victories and reclaimed autonomy. Discreet security and support personnel continue to monitor her environment, ensuring ongoing safety without intruding on her daily life. With each passing day, Victoria's confidence grows. She begins to trust herself and her instincts, recognizing her own strength and the power of her decisions. The combination of professional guidance, practical planning, and personal resolve enables her to transition from a state of fear to one of empowerment. In these moments, Victoria realizes that resilience is built not through wealth or status, but through courage, preparation, and self-belief. Meanwhile, Lucas faces a rapid and irreversible decline. the once celebrated billionaire sees his personal and professional world unravel. Public humiliation from viral videos, coupled with legal consequences and restraining orders, erodes the influence he once wielded effortlessly. Former allies distance themselves, wary of association with a man whose reputation has been irreparably tarnished. Business partners reconsider deals, investors pull out, and his social standing collapses. Attempts to manipulate staff, exploit loopholes, or regain control over Victoria fail miserably. Each failure highlights the gap between his perception of power and the reality of his impotence. Isolated and increasingly desperate, Lucas begins to confront the consequences of years of arrogance and emotional cruelty. He watches from the sidelines as media outlets and social platforms celebrate Victoria's courage, her resilience, and her triumph over adversity. For the first time, Lucas recognizes that wealth, status, and influence cannot protect him from accountability. The empire he built with ambition and ruthlessness starts to crumble, not due to market forces or competition, but because of his own destructive behavior. His arrogance, once a tool of domination, becomes the mechanism of his downfall. In the shadow of Victoria's unwavering strength, Lucas experiences the full weight of failure, powerless to undo the humiliation and loss he has brought upon himself. The contrast between his collapse and Victoria's rising empowerment underscores the consequences of underestimating courage, preparation, and the quiet power of truth. Victoria's long journey of resilience culminates in the birth of her healthy baby. Surrounded by trusted friends, family, and loyal supporters, the delivery room is filled with quiet reverence and warmth, a stark contrast to the tension she endured under Lucas's control. The first moment she holds her child, a wave of profound relief and joy washes over her. Tears stream down her face, not from pain, but from the overwhelming affirmation of the choices she made to protect herself and her unborn child. This moment becomes a powerful symbol of rebirth and freedom. Victoria reflects on the years of emotional restraint, humiliation, and fear that once dictated her life. Every trial she endured, every carefully plotted step to protect herself, culminates in the safe arrival of her child. The mansion, once a place of intimidation and oppression, now transforms into a symbol of empowerment and security. Its walls, gardens, and grand rooms are no longer spaces of fear but tangible rewards of patience, strategy, and courage. As she cradles her newborn, Victoria feels the weight of her triumph. The future stretches before her, unburdened by Lucas's dominance. The life she envisioned, a life of safety, love, and dignity, is now tangible, grounded in her unwavering strength and foresight. In the quiet of this transformative moment, Victoria understands the profound power of resilience, the importance of strategic patience, and the joy of reclaiming her own destiny. Victoria embraces her new life with independence, focusing on nurturing her child and continuing her personal healing. The trauma and fear that once overshadowed her existence are replaced with confidence, calm, and the satisfaction of living on her own terms. She takes deliberate steps to maintain her autonomy, surrounding herself with supportive individuals and trusted allies while remaining vigilant about her security. Empowered by her experience, Victoria becomes an advocate for women facing abusive relationships. She shares her story openly, inspiring courage and resilience in others. Her narrative emphasizes the importance of preparation, legal awareness, and inner strength, demonstrating that fear can be transformed into empowerment. The mansion, once a symbol of intimidation and oppression, now stands as a testament to her perseverance, strategic thinking, and personal authority. Meanwhile, Lucas remains disgraced, socially isolated, and powerless. His wealth and status are rendered meaningless in the face of accountability and public scrutiny. Victoria observes his downfall as a reminder that cruelty and arrogance cannot protect a person from the consequences of their actions. Her final reflection encapsulates her journey: no amount of money or power can protect a monster. Courage, preparation, and self-respect are what save lives. Victoria's story embodies the transformative power of resilience, the importance of claiming one's own authority, and the profound liberation that comes from choosing courage over fear. In every sense, she has reclaimed her life, her home, and her future.